baby. More dumpster fire. More dumpster fire. World's on fire. Still, I think somebody threw a little lighter fluid on it this week.
I'm pretty sure that gasoline got dumped on it this week. Like, what the? And
Really?
3 women, 1 group chat, 0 chill. Shannon, calm until she's not.
Pop off when I need to.
LV, if rage baking was a person.
fuck off, Betty Crocker.
Stacey, where charm meets consequences.
Did your mama let you go out like that?
The A Collective starts now.
Kick it off, Shannon.
All right, folks, welcome back to week 2 of the reboot of season 2 of the A Collective for another week. And baby, it's a doozy. I'm Shannon, and hanging out with me as always are
Stacey.
Hi, LV. Currently in the middle of a freaking nervous breakdown.
baby. Let's get at it. So the world was already, or let's just say the United States. We're not even gonna bring the world into our messy stuff right now. The United States is currently in a dumpster fire. But this week, I do believe I said lighter fluid. LV said gasoline. Gasoline was poured onto the dumpster fire. It is the United States. So, ladies, let's get at it.
Where do we start?
There's so much.
So what
There's
happened
so
on
much.
Monday? Was it anything fun on Monday?
No, we were still getting calls for the Epstein files, and there was pressure. I
Okay.
think there were still calls for that.
Tuesday.
Oh, and wasn't that around the time when Mike Johnson was trying to claim that Trump was the whistleblower? Was like,
yeah, that
working
it started
with the
last
FBI?
Friday. He was an informant, an FBI informant. So that kind
No,
of
so I think it was Monday when he walked.
he retracted it.
back.
Yeah.
He
So
had to
he's
backtrack
then-
on that.
Oh, well, we know that Trump backed away from him.
The way they lie like rugs so easily. So easily. Just lying like rugs.
I
so
can
Tuesday,
promise
what was
you.
going on? It had to be something going on Tuesday.
I think we were still kind of with the whole Mike Johnson being like, and then the right was still all up in arms. And I find it really hard to believe that God came to Mike Johnson of all people and was like, you were boson.
Mike Johnson has a bad hairpiece. If y'all looked at it, looks like a little squirrel back here. And it's oily.
Lord, no, I have not paid
Okay,
that
look at it.
any attention.
I want you to look at it. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we know his
I
wife
digress.
doesn't like him, so
Then I think Tuesday was calm before the storm.
it was still just
Normal
absolute-
Regular
charades.
stuff.
Yeah,
Then,
every day, crazy.
Then Wednesday.
Baby.
Wednesday
afternoon.
around 2:00, all of it went bad. So what did you
Yeah.
think about everything? I guess we need to name the event, right? There was a
Yeah.
shooting
In
that
Utah.
killed Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to say assassinated. I'm going to say killed.
Thank you, because that is a trigger for me.
Yeah. So, yeah, it kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah.
So the graphic images are horrific.
And I don't know about you all. I'm not sure about TikTok, but I was on the Book of Faces today, and they're allowing those videos to stay up. There was one in a post that I was in, because if you know me, when I go into a post, when I read a post, I like to go into the comments.
You
Because
got to go
maybe the
and see
comments are
everything.
usually full of gold.
Mm-hmm.
And down in the comments of this one post of somebody I know, someone posted the video. And it's one of the closer in shots. So the video I saw that appeared on TikTok in my FYP was pretty far back in the
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah,
This
that was
particular
nothing compared to what
video
I
that was
saw.
posted this morning, that was in these comments, was probably 7-8 rows back. And of course they had to zoom on. It had the sensitive content warning over it, and Meta has done a little extra because I clicked it once and then I got like an interrupt
Are you sure?
screen. And when I said, yes, I'm sure, it just took me still to the blurred image, and I had to click it again. And I decided then, I was like, oh, I don't want to click this, but it's the content.
Yeah.
It's the content. And I couldn't believe they still had it. They are allowing those videos to stay up just with the sensitive content warning.
It was really gross. It was really gross. It was horrific. I think it bothered me Wednesday night after seeing that. The first one, you kind of knew what happened. And let's talk about how the story came out. It was he was shot, right? The first news was he was shot. We didn't know where. We didn't know how severe. Then a few minutes later, it was in the neck or the chest. And when I heard that, I said, this can't be good.
See, I didn't see the second one initially.
Mm-hmm.
So my brain immediately went to Butler and ear grazing. Yeah. And so I was like, more performative shit. I was like, whatever, like just being very flippant about it. And then my dad messaged me and I made an off-color remark. And he was like, no, I actually think it was pretty bad. And then he like sent me a blurb about, critical condition. And I was like, shit. And then that's when I started going down the rabbit hole. And that's when I found the up close picture that caused me to drop my phone, gasp, and almost vomit.
Yeah, it was rough.
And I
don't
found out, I
recommend
think I saw,
watching that super up close one.
I think I maybe saw something on TV and I immediately, because I didn't, like TV, and I think I maybe had it muted or whatever. And I was like, well, first thing I'm going to do is let me go to my other news source, my alternative news source, TikTok.
Yeah.
And I put in and started scrolling. And that's when I started seeing videos with footage. And, that's the one thing about social media. Social media can beat to the punch traditional media almost every time, because people, good, bad, or indifferent, even though that was horrific,
it's content.
Most of the people who shot that video, who filmed that, they posted it. Most, not everybody, but most people posted it because
they wanted to go viral.
And I mean, granted, it ends up becoming evidence, but there were multiple videos shot from multiple angles.
I got 3 different videos from my neighbors. My girlfriends were like, oh my God, did you see? And then 3 different videos, and they were all different angles. I didn't open any. I was like, I had already seen the graphic one, and I was like, ooh. And I sent it over to my hubby. He didn't know what was going on. He didn't know anything was happening. He was at work, and he was like, don't send me stuff like that again. That was rough.
But yeah, I think we're in a world where for almost any type of event like that, people are going to have their phones out and up.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get eyewitness accounts almost immediately. And because of the immediacy of social media, they're going to beat traditional news to the punch. News is going to always end up trailing social media. When I saw that video, I was like,
yeah. You said the same thing I did. I'm sure this is not, this doesn't look like it's going to be recoverable.
Yes. Yes, because it was like, they went for the jugular.
Literally.
In the up close version, you can tell they hit the jugular. The way it...
And then the reflexes after.
There's no question whether or not the jugular was hit. And apparently, just he was dead before he hit the ground.
He succumbed to those injuries. Then here comes the social media backlash, and you start seeing your friends that you didn't know supported certain things, and you start seeing all these condolences. Did y'all see that too?
I think there are lots of layers to this.
Let's talk about it.
There are lots of layers.
The Christianity.
So I shared a video of a gentleman that I really, really like. Stacey, you weren't. It's Quentin Giles. We like him. We love him. You know him.
Okay.
Go search him on TikTok, Quentin Giles.
Because
you'll be like, you'll be like, oh, him? But he did an amazing video. It's a little long, but it was amazing about how multiple things can be true at the same time.
Absolutely. We
do not live in a black and white world. There are lots of nuances, lots of shades of gray. And it resonated with me because I have a lot of conflicting feelings. And he did it basically from the perspective of the Christian construct, right?
Okay.
And he was like, a lot of things can be true at the same time. We can hold a lot of things in our hands about this particular incident. We can feel bad that somebody, lost their life. But we can also feel a little non-empathy or a bunch of sympathy for that person based on the things that they shared, they said, how they lived their life, right? We can feel sympathy for the kids or the wife, right? But we could also just not care about the whole thing because
you didn't care about other people unless they were white, cisgendered. And not.
Look at your words. Look at the words you shared.
Yes.
So it can all be, human emotions are complex, and we can hold space for all of those things, and as Christians, from a Christian perspective, we are supposed to, we should love and feel empathy. God ain't got it in me. So you gonna have to help me with this because I feel a way about what happened. And so, it can be all of those things. And I don't want anybody losing their life, right? However,
Comma.
I got big feelings about the rhetoric he shared because it was dangerous. The firestorm this has now caused. And a lot of times for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And there's always fallout and a lot of times collateral damage. And, no more, not saying he was innocent, but no more innocent people should be losing their lives.
Yeah.
Should be losing their lives. So, yeah, it's hard. Go ahead, LV.
Well, the irony of the way he died is just not lost on me, right? For someone who literally would say, a couple lives lost every year is worth it to protect 2A in one of the most like graphic ways it's like Alanis Morissette is out there playing, right? Like it's wild because I felt a sense of relief. I felt a sense of sorrow for the children because apparently his kids were there, whether they actually saw it or not. His children and his wife were there.
Oh, wow.
And so that for me became kind of like my heart broke for those children because even though I personally have always thought that Charlie Kirk was a garbage human, those are children, right? Like they don't choose their parents. Who knows? They could grow up to be the exact opposite, right? Like you just never know. So my heart just broke for those children. But I felt a sense of relief because I was like, he can't spew his hatred and his vitriol anymore. And then I realized, sweet Jesus, the same thing happened. I meant to get tinfoil because I was going to, if my brain went here, the same thing happened in Nazi Germany during the rise of, the H guy. So the same thing happened. A very prominent Yahtzee, I don't,
Influencer.
public. Yeah. That, for, as influencer as you could get there were two of them were unalived prior, like right before shit got real and martyred. I don't know how you get more like controversial than Charlie Kirk. And now he's being martyred. So I'm like, holy hit. And there are, hit lists. People are creating lists to take large left-wing influencers down, but there is an actual hit list on the artist formerly known as Twitter with politicians and influencers on it. And it's come out today. I highly doubt that list has gone away, but it's come out today. We think we know who the guy is, raised by Republicans and is not affiliated with any party. Just hated Charlie Kirk, like a lot of us.
So when I heard it, I had to really just say, it's something wrong with me because I felt bad for the children. I felt bad for the people that had to witness execution because that's what that was. And that will never be out of their head that we're there live. But everything else, I didn't feel bad. I was like, okay, I don't feel any kind of way. And social media will make you think if you don't feel any kind of way, you're celebrating it. I'm not celebrating it because I don't think anybody should be killed, but you didn't think of me in any way highly.
You're indifferent
I'm just
to it,
like,
and that's
okay.
okay.
Yeah, but
okay.
people want to villainize you for that.
Absolutely. They absolutely feel like you should. Again, that's why it's very nuanced, shades of gray. Nothing is black and white about this because let's be clear, most black people feel a way about him.
We got some that are having a good time with it. But
I
we
said
got
most.
some.
That's why I said most.
Baby.
Most.
And the ones that are coming out and saying stuff, it is not boding well for them.
Baby, they are roasting them in the comments. I've seen more Django memes than a little bit.
Stephen. And I've heard the word coon in all kinds of songs.
Yeah.
I have been hearing that word a lot the past few days.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. No, I knew why, but I'm just like, nah.
It wasn't us. It wasn't these two over here with you. Yeah, it's just.
Well, I've hated him for a long time.
I was going to say something petty, and I'm not going to do it.
I'm concerned about the people who are martyring him. I'm concerned about the misinformation and vitriol that he left behind.
For someone to pick up.
But they're already, there are people deeply entrenched in this and who believe absolutely everything he said. Everything.
When people argue and say that he was a man of God, and that is what has really gotten me, because the God I serve doesn't behave like that. Love your
Amen.
neighbor.
What God you talking about?
So I'm not going to argue with you about where you think he's going, because he has to answer for that. God saw how he behaved.
But there are people deeply entrenched, think he was righteous. They equate, and I have a very, very big problem. For those who don't know, I did a couple of years of seminary. I'm halfway through a seminary degree. I've worked for a couple different denomination of churches, several different churches, done contract work for churches. So I have some very big feelings around the rise of Christian nationalism
/
and
cultism.
that, coupled with, I really, really feel very strongly about the Republicans have weaponized Christianity. They've weaponized it. And they equate, if you are not on the right with us, you're anti-God. So all the people on the left, or people who are moderate or independent and have their own thinking, you're not of God. Because you have to be
Right.
over here
in order to be of God. Yeah.
to be of God.
Yeah.
Because all the righteous people are over here. We're all the believers over here.
Righteous right.
Baby, I mean, they stand 10 toes down in that, and they've really weaponized religion. And they have a lot of people thinking that if you don't think my way, you don't love the Lord.
They're following a playbook, right? Because even history has shown that's always going to be their in, right? Because if you have faith, there's no way to prove, right? That's why we have faith. And so people that are very faith-based and unfortunately then also not very smart, they believe the propaganda. They drink that Kool-Aid so fast because they think that it is the blood of Christ, right?
But I think also, let me say this, also part of that, and I see this in church for other reasons, but a lot of times people aren't going to challenge, especially if somebody gets up and they're like, and the word of God says this, and Galatians whatever says this, and Exodus says this. If people feel like, well, but they take it verbatim, or they take it and run with it because they haven't studied to show themselves approved. And they don't want to speak up and be like, hey, that's not
the
of
context.
God or the Bible or the context, because they feel like they're not Bible scholars. And so they don't want to get up and challenge somebody on their Bible knowledge. That text has been interpreted or weaponized. And I think
a lot
that's
of scriptures have been weaponized.
Absolutely. And taken out of context. If you're not going to exegete the text right, get on somewhere with that.
That's why you need to study.
Yeah. So you have to study to show yourself approved. But a lot of Christians, baby, they Christians on Sunday.
And full of hell every other day.
Then they leave, baby, some of them cut up leaving the parking lot of the church. Any God that was in them, baby,
be gone.
Be gone as soon as they walked out the door. Because maybe they got in that car and they showed out on the parking lot ministry. Ask me how I know.
Because you've done it.
I worked in churches for years.
I may have done that before.
Absolutely lose every bit of salvation they claimed they had inside the church house. They didn't even get to the street from the church. Baby, they showed out in the parking lot.
No, I haven't showed out. I may have said some foul words.
See, but you're showing out. Even though you're showing out inside your car.
I own it.
Oh yeah.
Like I owned it when I swore in the church. Forgot where we were.
But it's common. All of that is common, right? But this is how easily people can be manipulated. I'm not willing to challenge you on what you just shared about the text, because I don't want to look bad or look like I don't know the Bible or whatever I need to do. So I shrink down and I just take what you say and run with it, because so and so said it. People need to study, research, whether it's the Bible, whether it's words that other people say or not. It doesn't matter. We got to learn to do research for ourselves. But as Americans, we tend to be lazy and not do that. So we take a lot of things at face value.
And the devil knew scripture.
Those are the people that the faux Christians that are spreading this, because they want their kickbacks, they want their XYZ. I mean, that's how they get in, right? Because they know there are these people that are going to be too embarrassed and to.
That's it's part of the playbook. If we keep them poor, barely hanging on, we keep them uneducated, so they are not interested in scholarly works or research, they'll believe what we say. They'll believe what we say. And some of us are so arrogant and think we cannot be fooled and nobody can pull the wool over our eyes that baby.
She's talking about you white men.
Black people too. But
yeah, but a lot of white men.
Not
white
all,
women.
many of those MAGA people on the right. Many of them. I mean, hide the information, put it in a book. Those who do not know their history, which is why world history is important. If people truly understood how Germany came to be,
we wouldn't
maybe
be here.
they'd be sounding all the alarms here because it is the playbook. It's step one. And I don't know if you guys, I'm sure both of you know who Stacey Abrams is.
Mm-hmm.
And Stacey Abrams has a TikTok. Baby, she been breaking it down. She'll come on and be like, all right, friends, we've hit step 7. Let me tell you what step 7 is in this authoritarianism playbook. And she'll break it down and give the example of how we just hit it. And so those who do not know their history are doomed to repeat it.
Absolutely. And here we are.
More than enough people who do not know their history. They fell asleep in world history and they have not paid attention. But they think they're the brightest bulbs out here.
And just dim and stayed in one class all day. They did. I just think about how can you be a Christian and say, I don't like God's creations? Other people.
Because they're told that those aren't God's creations.
Well, whose creations are there?
Or they're told that they are superior. They're superior. And
where is that in the good book?
Tainted.
That's what I'm just asking. So how do we get here?
We got here because people don't read and understand history. I mean, that's literally how we got here. And people believed a bunch of misinformation. A weakness was spotted in the American people and people took advantage of it. Plain and simple. And they saw that it worked. Because think about it. The thief who steals once and gets away with it is emboldened to steal again. Mm-hmm. So they believed us once. They believed us on this thing.
Who does this?
Well, let's go a little
further
and try this thing. I mean, it's this part of the playbook. This is what our dear leader.
That's what I said.
Our dear leader is doing. He is testing the expansion of his power as president. Because let me see if I can fire these people. Let me test immunity for my office. Because without the immunity, he wouldn't be doing all of this. Without the Supreme Court giving him immunity, he wouldn't be able to do all of this. He wouldn't. He absolutely wouldn't. Because the court would be a stopgap. But it's like, let me go a little further. Let me try this executive order. And then it gets litigated. And let's be clear, he is fast tracking a ton of these lawsuits about the executive orders up to the Supreme Court because he wants the Supreme Court to say yes, i.e. ICE raids and ICE.
Yeah. That was Tuesday.
All of that. That is an expansion of his power. He's like, I'm in command of ICE. I could tell them, go ahead and go in. And they can stop these people. So it's every little step goes a little bit further until we end up in the deep sunken place. And then we're like, how did we get here? We got here because he kept taking inches and the courts were allowing inches, more inches until we get to the deep, dark, sunken place.
So
I'm going to start calling him McKinkle's Machiavelli.
Okay.
I mean, if the shoe fits, his don't seem
those ankles
too lately.
Yeah. But I think about, so then there is a next level of this killing. So we didn't know who did it for almost 48 hours. Say about 48 hours. We didn't know.
2 other people first?
Yeah. So we had 2 people picked up.
That old man.
And let's just talk about the FBI and their excellence. Trash.
Well, this is what happens when you're like, yeah, let's let podcasters and people who have absolutely no business running
news personalities.
Well, he looked like he didn't know what was going on. He looked like a deer in headlights. And I know he's cockeyed. He is cockeyed. And they are doing this and you're like, what's going on?
Where do
But
I look?
no, and you're like, that was wrong. Lord, you know my heart. You know your girl.
Ma'am.
Yes, but I digress. He is standing up there like a fool. And this whole investigation was not solved because of the FBI, the local police, and this young man's dad turned him in. But I watched the press conference last night, and the governor was giving updates. What are you doing here, Cash, with your FBI jacket on? He had on a windbreaker. He was standing there looking around, eyes twisted up. What is happening?
You better apologize again.
I don't want to.
Go ahead and just still apologize.
Okay. Sorry, Lord. That's one of your children. But yeah.
Yeah.
So we had an older man that got arrested. And then Wednesday night, they said, oh, we have another suspect in custody. That was over in an hour.
Yeah.
He's
They
released.
were released. Yep.
Did Hansel and Gretel get up here and join the team to help? Like, what was happening
Yeah.
here?
Well, and meanwhile, we have the president of the United States
Announcing
going-
death.
Yeah.
Well, he's
like,
announcing death, too.
literally-
He was him and
I feel like he
Netanyahu.
wants to, maybe he wants to be a news personality. Now breaking news.
Yeah.
He said
Because
Charlie Kirk
He
is
announced
dead.
that. He announced that. And then he announced, he's the first person to announce the suspects in custody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we do know those are PR moves, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because he's trying to get credibility and credit. Like, I found
did
him. I
this.
announced it, so I did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because he's out there literally calling for the radical left to be like just literally all of us need to die.
Yeah. But after we already saw a picture, we had seen pictures of what this person was in the whitest state in America.
Yeah.
Like, we already knew what it was. And I think we could all deduce what the suspect was going to be, right?
We knew it wasn't going to be us. We knew.
Not in
Yeah.
Utah. And because our black asses would have been seen climbing on a roof up there. What is that colored girl doing up there?
The cops would have been called instantly.
Absolutely. So we knew what it was going to be. And it was just like, you've released pictures. Like,
But you know what's really interesting? Because now, of course, it's come out that he was raised in a Republican Trump household. He had expressed a dislike for Charlie Kirk to his family, but he wasn't registered with either party.
but he gave money to Trump's campaign
Yes.
in 2020.
So
But black people caught astray. We caught astray in all of it. Our beloved
you always do, though.
HBCUs were on lockdown. We ain't have nothing to do with it. Like Nene said, now how we get into it?
Baby,
How?
Mother FAMU was minding her business in Tallahassee, Florida. Minding her business.
HBCUs are under attack because of this. Black people
And black
catch
women were
strays.
catching strays
Yeah.
behind this. Like, we had nothing to do with this. We are at home learning the newest line dances, trying to catch boots on the ground with Fantasia.
Y'all
And-
got homecomings to worry about.
It's together.
Baby, yes, it's homecoming season, baby. Got to be ready. And we out here catching strays behind
Yeah.
something we had absolutely zero
Mhm.
chance of being involved.
But black people, because we have a leader that incites violence, similar to what he did January 6th.
And you know what the craziest part is? None of the right, because I was on my ground news looking at all the different stories that had been posted about catching the killer.
Assailant.
Yeah. But the ones that I read, at least on the right side, they don't mention any political party affiliation. And gee, I wonder why that is. Do you think that might be because they don't want people to know they weren't?
But we knew that. You
Doesn't
didn't have
fit
to
the
tell us.
narrative.
No,
Exactly.
Doesn't fit the narrative.
No, but see, here's the thing. We don't want their side, those MAGA that are already riled up. They don't want them to know that he was not some liberal, Antifa
Trans.
member. Yeah, trans Antifa member who
Mhm.
was also black
In Utah.
in Utah, because that's where their headquarters is. And
But-
it's like, okay, so we are watching all of this happen in very blatant ways now. It's not sneaky at all. It's blatant.
I just think that nobody stops him. Nobody corrects him. He does
Ever.
whatever he wants to. No. And here we are. So we're going to have another January 6th or a huge civil war that is going to erupt because of his tone. We don't have a leader.
They're organizing.
Well, no, we have a leader. He's just not a leader for all the people. He's a leader for the people over there. Over there because um we wouldn't have all the retaliatory stuff. The flags would have been at half mast for the Minnesota lawmakers who lost their lives. He would have gone to comfort their families, call their families, that kind of thing. He is not, which makes me sad. He's not a leader for all of the people, not a leader for all of the people. And that's
even,
really what we need.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think about Wednesday, all of the news was about Charlie Kirk when we had a school shooting.
We had 2. There were 2.
We didn't hear anything about that. There was no focus on it.
It was
was
buried.
all about Charlie Kirk.
Well, and when I brought it up in a video on TikTok, someone was like, but did they die? They didn't die. And I'm like, does it matter?
Schools are supposed to be safe places to send
Children.
your kids and teachers so that they can learn and become productive, decent human beings. They should not have to fear
Decent
for their
human
life.
beings. Do we have a decent human being in office? Absolutely not.
I mean,
So
we've
we can't have
kinda-
a level of decency here, right?
I mean, that's what's being modeled. And poor Democrats are catching it because they continue to try to model what should happen, and they're getting left in the dust, trying to take the righteous high road.
You know what? At some point you say, fuck that, okay? And let's
Yeah,
go.
I'm feeling a crash out coming.
It's just like, come on. And I saw it was a influencer, and she was talking about, if I would have known asking for these Epstein files would have brought this much mess to our country, because I do feel like it was a distraction. I mean, I got some thoughts behind all of this. But do we really want the files? Is it worth it? Because we haven't had any peace since people have been asking for those Epstein files.
I think for the victims, the files should be released.
I think because the victims clearly want them released, they need to be released.
But we are catching strays from that.
I mean, we are, but again, this is a situation where we're getting a lot of misinformation. People quickly have forgotten, because he keeps saying it's a distraction by the left, the Democrats. He never mentions the victims.
Mm-mm.
But
Kaylee.
he called.
What's her name? Caroline. Sorry, they all start with K for some reason. But Caroline sure as hell did basically called them all slutty whore liars.
With her new face, she might want to be quiet.
Someone got tired of getting made fun of for
let
no
that
lip.
settle in a little bit better. And she's too young to be fooling around with
Needing
that much
that,
work.
yeah.
That much work. That's
How old
that's
is
a whole
she?
other story.
27-ish?
Something like that.
No, she is
That's
27.
bad.
I don't know.
Okay, I digress.
Sorry.
Again.
Continue.
But those,
Squirrel.
but we forget that he was demanding the Biden administration release the files. And now it's turned around and people kind of forget. He counts on short memories and how he can spin a lie, i.e. the note that was in the estate birthday book. No, I didn't do that. That must be AI. That must be a fake. Somebody forged my signature. I didn't do it.
I
Sir,
don't
you did
speak
it.
like that. So yes, you do. You talk like a kindergarten.
Yes, when you talk about grabbing women by the,
Yeah.
and then, okay.
And how you like to go into the dressing room of.
Yeah. So you don't talk.
And you don't write like that either, because we know that signature.
Mm-hmm. It was with a Sharpie.
We know that's your work.
Yeah. And because you love to grandiose show off your signature and turn it around after you sign your executive orders, you don't think we can spot that?
He thinks that we are really, really slow.
Well,
no, he
apparently a good
counts
portion
on
of America is.
He's counting on the ignorance of his sheeple. He's counting on his sheeple to not believe it.
And this goes back to what I was saying is people of faith, in order to have faith, you have to believe in something without proof, right? And I'm not saying it's a bad thing when you're having faith, but when you have faith, when you believe in God, but it can easily be taken advantage of. And so that is why we see this Christian, right? Like it is because they are the easiest to be, like affected by propaganda, right?
Well, think about
they are the
when-
most susceptible to it, I guess is the best way to say it. They are the most susceptible to take in propaganda as.
So think about Tea Party when that came about. Tea Party, because Barack Obama wasn't a Christian. So
Sure.
they started pulling people in. And, Sarah Palin was leading that charge at one point. She was a real smart
I had
one.
forgotten about her.
Don't forget about her, because think about where all of this stuff kind of stemmed from.
Well,
The
that's
Sarah
when
Palin.
Trump gave rise. The whole
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly when it was. And
Yeah.
so it's like, since then, we haven't had any peace. Our political system, we are going back to the 60s.
Well, they
Blam.
crashed out that a black man actually won the presidency. Therein lies the problem.
Yeah, because
That's
I'm not
where
listening to you.
that's the root of it. A black man,
In a
blackity
tan suit.
blackity black man
With a
won.
black wife and black kids.
When, by the
Baby.
way, wife. She's a she.
Yeah,
Won the presidency.
yeah.
And baby, they
That
were
made
mad.
everybody lose it. It really made Trump say, I have got to do something, because this colored man is not going to be up here. And he didn't call him a colored man. He said the word with the ER. Hard.
But he had a history back then, and we didn't call it. Our part of our issue was we didn't call a thing.
We didn't stop
Back
it because no
then.
one took
We
it
needed to
seriously.
remind people about the exonerated five, formerly known as the Central Park Five, how he took out an ad in the New York Times calling for those young men to be executed, how he had a history, allegedly, of
Being a slumlord.
that.
Not
And
renting to
Mhm.
only
that's where
renting
I
to
was
white
going.
people.
Yeah.
Not renting to
To black
certain people.
But that, in that history, his dad too, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, and they used to hide, and I'm sure, but they would hide any black workers at Mar-a-Lago when he would come down, so that he would never see them.
In the
I
words
learned
of
that during
Stacey,
Trump 1.0.
that is wild business.
It is.
That
It's
is
just
wild
nasty work. And then this is the man in the highest office here in the country. So we can't be surprised at what we're seeing. But all these Christians, do you see something wrong?
No, because apparently he stands on the right side of history. And these
When
people
is he a
do not.
He
Christian?
loves them.
Child, yeah, 2 Corinthians, you ain't know.
Upside down Bible. 2 Corinthians was nasty work. Then what did he
I
just
don't.
say?
I-
What is that?
I've never asked for forgiveness. He literally admitted to never asking for forgiveness.
But he's being humbled right now. That mouth of his.
I watched the 9/11 ceremony because I saw clips and I was like, no, people can do things. People can AI, and I'm going to go find like a news channel that streamed it and I'm going to rewatch it. And I sat there for a good 30 minutes. Y'all, I think he had a stroke on stage, like a mini one, because he started like normal kind of, he always has like a little bit of a, as the names continued to be called, it drooped more and more and more. And then I am not a body, I am kind of a body, I did hair for a really long time. I understand body language. I think he might have like soiled himself.
He shit on himself. That's what happened. He shit on himself, honey. He probably was smelling like
Oh,
what's
he
the one
kinda
on
looks-
Charlie Brown that has this
Yeah.
pig pen?
Help my sisters,
yeah,
y'all.
big
Just
fan.
help
But
them.
He shit
Help,
himself.
Lord.
He kind of
You
looks
know our
down and
hearts.
kind of is like, and then kind of looks around, and then Melania kind of tightens up and looks over, and she was wearing sunglasses, but you can kind of tell she's looking down.
He probably
in
made
his-
a noise.
Well, yeah, and she kind of is like, and then she just, and you can tell her body is tight and she's uncomfortable. And there were a couple of moments where I think she might have actually grown to love him a little bit because she seemed visibly upset. And we know
He
it's not because of the names.
smelled.
She has that jacket that says, I don't care, do you? Like, so we know it's not the names of the victims of 9/11. And she held his hand. She rarely does that.
I won't read anything.
I'm telling you,
into it.
something
He probably was
happened.
stinking. He was stinking.
But the
Um,
face was bad.
It was really, really bad. And, when you're low down, things like that happen to you. I'm a firm believer in it. But what do we feel? I know that we're at time, but what do we think? Because we didn't even get to talk about the guy that they picked up and how all the fun stuff about him.
I think we're going to, I think we need to wait and see because I feel like some more stuff is going to come out.
Maybe we could try to do like a special little live thoughts, We'll look at our schedules, see what
I'm open.
you're like. If I get to talk about this shit, I'm open.
I know.
I don't believe it.
Her favorite thing to do.
No, this is her favorite thing to do.
It's true.
I know I did it twice today.
I did it to Monica the other day.
And what'd she say?
She remembered. And I was like, I just turned my head and looked at the wall. And she started laughing.
Stacey, pulling
You're
us.
going to get this treatment.
I actually don't mind turning to the side anymore because I have a neck. I've never had a jawline.
You know, don't even start talking about neck because the neck jokes have been going as vile as they are.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, again, two things can be true at once.
All
The
right,
United
friends.
Hate of America.
Baby, gasoline on the dumpster fire. It's been quite the week.
Yeah.
Hope next week is a little better.
Protect your peace.
Absolutely.
Protect yourselves.
Head on a swivel, friends. Head on a swivel.
Yeah.
Head on a swivel.
I'm sure this will be an ever-evolving story. Because as of today, we've just picked up the suspected, assassin, killer.
Yeah. No, don't you dare.
Assailant.
Mm-hmm.
The alleged assailant.
So yeah, he's been picked up today. So this will be an ever-evolving story. Yeah. I don't know what next week holds. I'm sure it'll be colorful too.
Just can we not like a whole big jug of gasoline again?
Is it the funeral next week?
Well, because they
I
flew
think
his
it's
body
next-
back.
I feel like it's next Saturday. I feel like the funeral's next Saturday.
Okay.
Which
And
means
is he lying in state at the rotunda? I know that's one of the things that was a request. So
Wait,
Oh,
you
you
weren't
didn't know
just
that?
kidding there?
no,
Please tell me you're fucking joking.
no.
Lord.
He was not. Oh my God. People, school shooting victims. But we get one for Charlie Kirk, who is literally called for the death of innocent people. That literally just sent me over the fucking edge.
And they also want a statue as well.
That doesn't surprise me. Put that out on their fucking campus at Turning Point. Like, fuck you people. I'm so fucking tired of this shit. You're not patriotic.
Your eyes got really, really big.
I'm so
Well,
mad.
we know he's
I
gonna
did
get
not
the
know that.
We know he's going to get the Presidential Medal
Oh
of
yeah, I already had
Freedom.
one of these over that.
It's such a cheap medal at this point, isn't it? Isn't Rudy Giuliani getting one for picking up
he did.
prostitutes on the side of the street, allegedly?
He been disbarred.
He was picking up some tail on the side of the street.
I used to send him like videos about how to make prison wine.
Man.
And on that note,
I used to tag him on Twitter all the time.
Well,
it's been
friends,
real.
been another week. Catch us next week. Until next time, don't forget, follow us on all the socials. Don't forget to like this episode and leave a comment.
Our
Leave
thing
a
does
comment.
all that.
Okay, well,
Okay, then.
Damn
Bye.
I'm
Bye.
trying to make it easier on us.
We'll see you next time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jesus fucking Christ. You made it to the end of this episode of the A Collective.
Hit like, follow, comment, and share it with the group chat.
Otherwise, Stacey might come for you.
Yikes.
I know, so do it.
Thursdays are for chaos and new episodes of the A Collective.
Not the A-list.
No. Nope. I'm gonna get the name right this season.
I think I need that too.
help
'cause I'll be
help
like,
me, Lord. Help me. Help me. Help me, Lord. Help me. Help me. Because
mhm. It ain't gonna go over well.
Wait, is it
You're
me
what?
that's having connection issues?
I'm
'Cause
moving
both
around
of
and I
you
had to get
keep
on the
freezing
floor.
for me.
Oh, I'm
No,
fine.
it's
Nobody-
you.
It's you. Do you want to go out and come back in?
We can look at this later.
we will go down a TikTok rabbit hole.
Gonna pop some on before we start? Or?
Oh, no. No. I haven't even prepped them. I was going to do that last night. But I don't remember what happened.
Life?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Y'all, this whole week has been a clusterfuck.
Okay, but it just freezes for you, not for me. Or not for the
Mhm.
recording.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. I also just realized we didn't hit start or anything, so this is going to be fun.
And you know she's on a GLP-1.
Uh-huh. Because
She's
been,
lost about 30 pounds so far.
baby, she is hilarious. Pull her up.
I don't.
Hold on. y'all.
We have to start.
We
I know,
do,
'cause I
because
was
it's
late.
1:40.
3 hours later.
Wow. You're either a super fan or crazy. Thanks for being part of the collective. See you next Thursday.